Bye-bye, family. Have a good day. Mr. Boy Biolus? There we go. Have a good one. And good morning, guys. It is a beautiful day here in Kentucky. It's like 60 degrees. I think it's going to be up to 80 today. Take a look at this. It's absolutely gorgeous out here. But the main reason I turned the camera on today is our first day back at work / school / stuff. And I thought something interesting might happen. You never know. But before too much longer, I need to go ahead and get a shower because since it is Monday, I need to go into the office. I got to go see coworkers and bosses and everything and get caught back up on what's going on. And I will say I have very much missed all of this. Once we get a little bit of nicer weather, yeah, this is going to be like a primary workspace. Although it looks like, during the course of us being away for a week, bird poop is starting to cover this general area. Oops. Now the other reason I turned the camera on today, other than just, we're back in town, let's get used to everything, is I might be making a pretty big purchase today. I say might because I'm not really sure. Basically, before we went on vacation, I fought with myself for weeks, trying to figure out exactly which cameras I wanted to take with me. You know, you're going on a cruise, you're going away from everything, so you want to be able to have sort of an all-in-one package that works perfectly for every situation. I did not have that. That's why if you watched that 30-minute vlog, I had in it footage from my phone, a GoPro, this camera, the Panasonic LX10, the Panasonic GX850. The only footage I was extraordinarily happy with was the footage from this camera, the LX10. The GX850 footage was beautiful, but because I didn't have a zoom lens with me for it, it meant that I either had to use a 20mm or a 42.5mm, which again makes beautiful images and beautiful video, but it's very hard to deal with. And this camera, its one big fatal flaw in my opinion is its audio. I've got the little muff on there and that does help a lot, but it was so windy on the ship that a lot of the footage was just not very usable. And I even took the GoPro audio adapter with the little external microphone I reviewed on my main channel right before I left town. That microphone does a really good job, but I didn't have a proper camera to use it with, just the GoPro. So there were a few clips from the GoPro that had better audio because of that. Anyway, sort of what I was getting at there is I was looking for a good all-in-one solution, basically for everything except waterproof. The GoPro handles all the waterproof stuff for me just fine, or my phone even technically. Although I will say I was really confused by my phone because apparently when you're using the rear-facing camera, the microphones are only working on the rear side. So any video that I was recording where I was behind the phone, there was very little to no audio, so I had to boost it a huge amount in post. So I'm not a fan of that. And of course, because it's the iPhone 7 that I'm currently using, there's no way to put an external microphone on it. At least it's not as far as I'm aware. So anyway, to circle back around to the point, I've been laboring for weeks over, should I buy another camera? And I know a lot of you are going to say, it's an addiction, don't feed into it. But it's like every year or year and a half, I get into this mode where it's like, it's time to switch, it's time to try something new. I think it was back in 2014, I bought the Sony A6300 camcorder. Love that camcorder, still use it for all of my main channel videos as the overhead cam. But then at the end of 2015, it was, well, you know, I've got a little bit of money left over, and oh wait, there's a holiday deal on the Panasonic G7. Let's try something new. And that thoroughly stepped my game up. Video quality went way up. Audio quality went kind of so-so. And so for the last year and a half or more, I've been using the G7. It's been getting the job done. I bought the GX850 sort of on a whim because it was reasonably priced and it's a whole lot smaller than the G7, so it does allow me to take amazing portraits and photos and really nice quality video, just the audio's kind of terrible. So again, we're back to what can I do to encompass everything in a small package? And when you're looking at making video and you're looking at good quality photos and everything, the grand majority of people now are switching to Sony. Now, a lot of people I know are switching to the high-end Sonys like the A7S II, the A7R II, things like that. Not for me. And I'm not planning to switch 100%. There's no way that I'm buying multiple Sony cameras, unless maybe I do. But my thought was I'm gonna dip my toes into the water. The A6500 just released a few months ago, so I got online and I ordered an A6500 with its kit lens. Now the kit lens is a 16 to 50, which is a really nice range for traveling, and it's actually a really small form factor, but that's not gonna get the job done for the type of videos that I make most of the time, so I will probably end up picking up a 10 to 18 millimeter lens, an ultra wide angle lens, because there's so many extra excellent reviews on that lens. And the A6500 has so many amazing reviews also, with its stabilization built into the body, very decent mic jack, and a touchscreen, although the touchscreen does not flip out. That's one of my big gripes with it. My other big gripe with it, I was actually able to assuage that, allay that, when I got my hands on the A6300 over the weekend. I just ran into Best Buy and checked it out. It has so many custom buttons on it, custom function buttons that you can remap to be whatever you want. So there's one right on the front of the camera, right by the shutter button. I think there's actually two on the 6500, and you can remap that to be the movie button. So you just hit the button, starts recording, good stuff. So like I said, I ordered the 6500, the Alpha 6500, whatever you want to call it, with its kit lens. I have not ordered the 10 to 18 yet because supposedly Best Buy has it in stock, in store, everywhere. And that gets me to the point of the video. I'm going into Louisville this morning for work, and I'm super tempted to run by Best Buy and see if they have an A6300 in stock. Because the few minor differences between the 6300 and 6500, you've got the built-in stabilization, you've got the touchscreen, and you've got slightly, possibly slightly better night mode. But you also get worse battery life. So since they have exactly the same sensor and exactly the same everything else, it's really tempting to pick up the 6300 and give it a shot because it's like $400 cheaper. And I think they actually have it in stock with its kit lens in the store. So it's going to be really expensive, but technically if I go into the store and pay about $1,800 to $2,000, I should be able to come out today with an Alpha 6300, a kit lens, and a 10 to 18 lens to be able to start messing around with it before my A6500 gets here. And I have a feeling if this all goes according to plan, especially if I get the 10 to 18 millimeter, the main channel videos, the main camera portion of it should have a significant bump in video and audio quality. And the really cool thing about it is it's such a small form factor and such a sturdy built device that I could technically bring it along with me and use it for these style of videos, for the second channel videos or main channel videos if I want to be walking around and doing other things. Because up to this point I haven't been taking the G7 with me anywhere because it is kind of large. I just really didn't want to have to pack that kind of thing around. Something a little bit smaller, the A6500, possibly. So anyway, roundabout way of saying here, long way of saying here, a new camera is on the way, possibly two. If I end up picking up the A6300 and I don't absolutely love it, if the A6500 is that much better, the 6300 will go back. If the A6300 gets everything done that I want to get done and it works appropriately as a walking around handheld camera without being too shaky, the 6500 might end up going back before I even open it. That way it doesn't even have to be an open box item. But that's one of the things that I do love about Best Buy. I spend enough money there that I'm technically an Elite Plus member, which means that on top of their pretty decent return policy anyway, I get a much better return policy, much longer, and I try not to take advantage of it. I try not to abuse it. It's just when I'm making a really big purchase, you gotta take that little bit of extra time, you gotta do a little bit more work, and getting the camera or the computer or whatever it is that I'm testing in hand for a few days or a week is a whole lot better for me than going into the store and trying it for 5 minutes in very nice lighting conditions. Anyway, we've talked enough about this. It's time for me to go ahead and head into work. Oh, that was super hard. Ellis is back in daycare today, and since it's been a little while, we had to actually take some diapers in. Christina accidentally forgot to take them this morning when she dropped him off, so I took some with me, and I think he may have seen me, which means he saw me walk in the door, he saw me give something to his teacher, and then walk out, and that thoroughly sucks. I say this because I saw his teacher grab him very close to the door, which means that he saw me, he came running for the door, and he's probably crying, and that thoroughly sucks. Anyway, back to going to work. And I just got about the 6th email that I've gotten this morning from work with people saying that they're working from home. I'm thinking I may actually be the only person going into the office today, and I've been out of the office for a week. Well, crap. Like I said, I'm probably going to be going by Best Buy and Sam's and a few other places in Louisville after I get out of the day job stuff, so it only makes sense to go ahead and go in. It just kind of stinks that I'm going to be sitting there alone for a couple of hours. Oh well, what can you do? Well, that was a relatively quick and painless morning. Like I said on the way in, pretty much everybody's out of the office today, so I spoke to a couple of people, actually a couple of managers, because managers are about the only people in the office today. Tried to get some stuff done. My laptop's configured kind of wonky, so it doesn't work quite right on the network here, so I'm going to take it home and try to do more stuff there. But again, the main reason I came into Louisville, I've got like 4 or 5 other things I need to do. So I'm going to run by the bank, I'm going to run by Best Buy, Sam's, wherever else, grab some lunch maybe, and head home. Hallelujah, the day is saved. If you've not watched my vlog before, you may not know, I've been in a battle with PNC Bank for months. I'm talking for 8 months probably, over international currency. A lot of the stuff I do on the main channel, I put links and links for other countries, for Amazon in like the UK and in Germany and in Canada and wherever else. And so inevitably when the affiliate stuff from that piles up, I eventually get a check for a certain amount, let's say $100. The bank where I live, it's basically a small bank inside of a grocery store. They said, we can't help you, we can't do anything. It's too low of a dollar amount, or it's months and months I've been going back and forth with him, and finally I realized that there is a PNC Bank right here, about a mile away from where I work. Less than that, actually. It's walking distance from where I work. And I went in and I was very nice to them, and I asked them, can you please help me? I just want to take this from pounds to dollars. What do I have to do? The nice lady walked away with it for a few minutes. She talked to a supervisor. She came back and said, yes, we can definitely do that. We'll stick it in the account. It's like a 10-minute process, whereas every other time I've been to the little branches, it's been like a half an hour of standing there in the middle of a store fighting with them, trying to get them to help. So now I do finally have it in my account, and now I have a place that I can come to once a month or twice a month or however often it happens, depending on Amazon, and deposit these checks so I can actually start. It's a good thing. It's just a good thing for me. And actually that didn't take nearly as long as I thought it was going to, so I'm gonna head to Best Buy and say all the other stuff that needs to be done. Hooray, it's an amazing day. Into Best Buy. The 65 and the 63. It's very tempting. And now we're recording. This is the A6300. And I'm doing it after talking to the guy for a little while. I'm actually going with the A6300 with 2 lenses because it's $1050, and then you add another lens and it takes it to like $1249, which is still cheaper than the body of the A6500. I did not expect this. And that is that. $1,350 later, I just spent a lot of money. But hopefully, again, we can improve the quality of these videos as well as the main channel videos. I was talking with a guy in there for like 15-20 minutes, and basically he was on the same page as I was. Basically, all the little features that you get with the 6500, not gonna be that necessary for somebody like me. I mean, walking and talking video stuff, the IBIS is not gonna help that much. I actually saw a couple of videos from Dave Dugdale about the 6500 and trying to use the IBIS on multiple axes at the same time. He's had so many issues out of that, so something like this, it's like, with these 2 lenses, was like $100 less than it was gonna be for just the body of the 6500. I'll give it a shot. In the worst case, again, I can always bring it back. I do still have the order of the 6500 on the way, so when that gets here, I'll have to figure that out. And since this is an older camera, I don't think I'm gonna do an unboxing for the main channel or anything. I should, but I'm not going to. Let's see what happens. And here we go. This is the first clip with the new camera. It's got the 16-50 OSS lens on it. I'm hand holding it, sort of. It's a really awkward angle. The battery was completely dead, so I do have it plugged in to the micro USB cable here in my car. Hopefully this is working appropriately, and hopefully it sounds pretty decent. But I'm going to actually go grab some lunch right now. I'm gonna let this charge up a little bit and see if I can get it up on the GoPro stand that I'm using here in the car, and we'll just see how this works. And we've made it home. Again, I'm still using the A6300. This is at almost arm's length, and it seems to feel pretty comfortable, although it is a little bit heavy. So I may switch out to using it on something like a Gorilla Pod or just a small tripod just to make it a little easier to hang on to, because my hand's already starting to shake a little bit. I think I'm also gonna try it out with a small microphone, so let's see. Well, unfortunately, my little 3.5mm cable is not quite long enough to use with this little mic, but it does appear to be working appropriately. I may just have to find a slightly longer cable for it, or maybe just a different microphone. But this is the Comica microphone I made a video about before going on vacation, and I wanted to see how it was going to perform with this, so this is a quick test. Here's another test using the Comica microphone using the 3.5mm cable that was included with it. I did not want to use this cable originally because it had some bad ticking, hissing noise to the background, so let's give it a second and see if that makes a difference. And now, out of curiosity, I've got the 3.5mm cable, the little curly one that came with the Comica microphone, and I've got it inside of my normal setup here using the A6300, just still handheld. But I wanted to see if it still had that ticking, hissing, and everything with all of my lights and everything. If there's some sort of a interference, I don't know. So here's silence. Yeah, so there you go. And here we go with a quick test. I've actually got this plugged into micro USB with the microphone plugged in as well using the curly cable. Again, back to the Comica microphone, but just a very quick test. I set the audio down to 12. It was at 26 to start with because the audio sounded really, really hot before in all the editing I've done. And I'm really curious how video is going to turn out in here. This room is notorious for being very dim, so it's not going to be great for video. But in here, just a little bit, I moved around a little bit, it looks pretty decent. We will have to test it out later tonight though, because that's the real test. That's when it's night, it's dark outside. Because right now I've got light hitting my face from this side, so it's probably throwing things off a little bit. If I move to another part of the room, I'm literally just walking around in a very dimly lit room. We've got a little bit of ambient light coming in from these doors over here. Probably a lot of rolling shutter from me moving things around, but so far, very early, very initial impressions after going through and editing some of the footage from this. Really, really impressed. Battery life is going to be a big concern, but I did order a 2-pack of batteries and a 2 charger from Amazon for like 33 bucks. I'll put a link to that down below if you're curious. And hopefully that'll be here tomorrow or Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday it's coming. And as a bit of a comparison for earlier, sorry for the wind, but this is what outdoors looks like on the A6300 using the comic microphone again, because it seems to be getting the job done pretty well. And I'm just hand holding this. I don't have the GorillaPod on there or anything. Go ahead and flip it around so you can see that the wind is actually mostly, well, it's coming back, but it's very, very light at this point. So hopefully the wind is not impacting this too much. I gotta make sure this is pointed at me properly because I don't have a flip out screen anymore, but loving the video quality, especially if I step out into bright sunlight. That's gonna look pretty nice, I think, aside from the fact that I'm in the frame. And because I'm curious, I thought I would do a quick not handheld test, because I watched back all the clips that I've been doing and all the ones I've been editing, and the audio's not that great. I've tried microphones from super cheap ones, the little lavaliers, and much more expensive on-camera microphones, and they've all had a lot of what sounds like handling noise. So hopefully not hand-holding it will make a difference, as opposed to picking it up. And now the shock mount is actually having to be used because I'm holding the camera on a GorillaPod, but then when I set it back down, hopefully that noise goes away. That does make me sort of rethink my strategy about how to use this for vlogging stuff though. I'm also kind of curious how the autofocus is going to work, because like if I put my hand in front of my face or something, like if I do this, is it going to focus on my hand? Is it going to focus back on my face when it needs to? These are all things that I want to test. And yes, I just watched that clip back. I couldn't actually hear it because I'm watching it in the camera, but autofocus appears to be the absolute winner for this. That's like the #1 reason I first looked at this. 2 reasons. Okay, one is the autofocus, meaning that I can take an item, just a random thing, and put it up relatively close to the camera. It'll focus on it, it'll look really nice, then I can take it back and it'll come back to me very, very quickly without a whole lot of the focus breathing that all of the Panasonic cameras that I have do. And I've seen a lot of videos from other people. They do it on all the Panasonic cameras, unfortunately. Sony's just got a different focusing system and it works really, really well for what it is. The other really nice thing about this camera, of course, is the high frame rate mode. It goes up to 120 frames a second at 1080p. Currently I'm filming this at 60p, but I'm actually going to be rendering the video at 24p so that I can take the 60p footage and even 120p footage whenever I do any, and I can ultra slow it down and make it look nice and smooth and creamy and everything. Alright, everybody is home.
Whoa, look at that camera.
This is a new toy.
Yeah, I can tell.
Ellis just had his snack. Was that a delicious banana? Yes. Looks tired now. And Duncan says hi. Hi, Duncan.
Hi.
Ellis does an awful lot of this now. Very dangerous, but we've got the gates sorted now, so they're a little bit stronger. But he wants to know what's going on everywhere, all the time. See if I can zoom out with this while. Yeah. There we go. You like the camera? Yes. I like every camera. The danger extends to other places in the house. This one can now pull up and grab door handles and start to turn door handles. They're getting too big. And before long, he'll be walking, like actually walking away from things. This one has just been a little ball of happy energy all evening. Lost his pants somewhere along the way, but that's okay. Duncan's been out playing with a new friend. You have a good time? You all jump on the trampoline and shot some basketball and whatnot. Good stuff.
New neighbor friend.
Yeah.
Mommy had to climb all the way down in the trees, like way far back in there because the basketball went. So I had to like break some branches so I could even get back in there. So hopefully I didn't touch anything, kind of poison ivy or anything.
There he is. Where's Ellis? I gotta stand up and do it. Now where's Ellis? There he is. Where's Ellis? There he is. Where's Ellis?
Daddy.
Daddy. That's not what you're supposed to say.
There's Daddy.
Where's Daddy? And I think he's officially done. And I think that is about that. We've got the boys into the bed. I think she's actually getting ready to go to bed herself. She was asleep on the couch when I came back down here. Headache. But maybe we'll watch 1 or 2 Roman Atwood vlogs and then that'll be that. I'm still learning more about this camera and color correction and whatnot I can do on it. Loads and loads of things. There'll be videos on the main channel.
Night.
Good night. Thanks for watching.